Hello, hello, Bl'Artagnan here, bringing you another attempt at Trey's Lost Chapter, Lufenia. I wanted to use a team that actually let the bosses act and have to interact with the mechanics a bit, which ironically ended up leading me to the queen of not letting bosses take a turn, Lightning. You have to do some pretty counterintuitive things with her to make this work, such as using her non-plus EX here and targeting the closer of the two so that they don't get pushed as far back. Kam'lanaut's Lost Chapter was actually a great training ground for this. Back when Lightning first came out, I remember a lot of people were complaining about, having this super delay unit on a cycle that featured, both that and Reno's Lost Chapter, where in both cases you needed the boss to take a turn. Ended up being pretty educational, though. It kind of taught me some of the ins and outs of playing Lightning in ways I hadn't realized were possible. So early on, the big worry is that they're going to have an Eraga attack, which is not affected by Reno's Numb. Reno is fantastic in this stage. Numb debuff is so good at helping control their turns so they don't do ridiculous turn jumping insta-kill attacks. The one thing is you want to get past this first Eraga attack because it's magic and won't be affected by it. So if you're not careful, you can have something like, you see A there. If their turn stacks up too much, they can break you and then instantly kill someone. So right now we're doing kind of an awkward dance trying to let them use that attack without having as many turns in a row as they'd like. Gabranth is also really useful here for managing the orb and for dealing with their instabreak shenanigans, or their unbreakable shenanigans. So, as you can imagine, playing Lightning here can be a bit stressful because she has a knack for jumping ahead when you really just don't want her to. But here, the orb's getting pretty low, but I just want to create a bit more space there and get Reno in front. Perfect timing. So now both their orbs are up, so we can be a little bit more pushy using her EX there, even in the plus version. Trying to debate if we want to break and push D back. Decide to do it. Keep them kind of in the same place. Now that they've both used Eraga, Reno's Numb debuff is going to be fantastic for helping keep them in check. At this point, we don't want Lightning jumping ahead too much, so just use an HP attack. So you can see here, their turns were about to get really silly, but Numb jumps in here and just kind of reduces them from 4 turns to 2. Here's where Gabranth's going to be shining. And once again, Numb coming in there to push back some stack turns and create some more space for us. It's really a testament to Lightning's power that she came out back in November, and her LD boards didn't give her a whole lot, and she's still quite powerful. Even in stages where you'd think, well, a delay character like her isn't going to be that useful, she still gets the job done purely as a turn-efficient damage dealer. Although I will say, her delay capabilities come in handy later in the fight when you don't want to take any turns. Good a place as any to launch. Not a great launch, but at least Gabranth's HP damage up makes it do something. Now they're getting all stacked up again, which makes me a bit nervous. But luckily, you know, as I keep saying, you know, the numb debuff is so good for preventing them from just steamrolling you. I mentioned this in another video before, Reno is an extremely useful utility unit. He provides some really unique things that other debuff kind of supported units just can't quite do, and his damage isn't bad either. Another case of a unit who came out quite a while ago who's still really kicking it. Looking forward to his LD boards eventually. One thing with these guys is they're very fast, and so they do have a tendency to wear numb out. Luckily, Reno can extend the duration with his AA. So once again, using the non-plus version over EX on the guy whose orb is more manageable. And if you are going to use lightning in the stage, be very careful about her turn jumping. Sometimes just using an HP plus just to avoid getting into a bad orb situation is okay, even if you had a free skill or something. You saw earlier, by the way, he did an attack, jumped up immediately, and that could have been a really painful situation, but again, Reno coming in clutch there. So I brought the RCL a call, partly as kind of an emergency panic button with the HP silence, mostly just for the speed down. I don't think it ended up being necessary. It actually just created some debuff clutter that we didn't need, because Numb ended up really handling these guys a lot better than I thought. Probably could have used a different call, maybe like, I don't know, Keiss call from when Ramza came in or something, but I wanted like an extra panic button in case something went wrong and they ended up with a huge amount of Brave. So for that all attack, we want to hit him with Pyramid before he uses it, so that the mBrv debuff doesn't hit. Because for the most part they ignore a lot of his Pyramid shenanigans, so we really are only using it for the Brave damage up and the debuff prevention. That said, we still have a little bit of time before we need to apply that Pyramid. So we're going to see if we can't finagle it so that Lightning pushes him behind Reno so we can get that EX off and kind of keep his rotation going clean, so to speak. With both orbs at 10, we feel very comfortable using her LD there. Trying to figure out now if it's worth using EX. If we're going to, it's probably best used on A. Again, just to keep them close enough that they're not going to get pushed too far back. Lightning certainly enjoys all the free turns she takes in the stage with such a tight turn count as well. Now I think it's finally time to Pyramid. they actually, because so many of their attacks ignore reduction, later in the fight you'll see a case where I'll put up Pyramid and it won't fall off after they attack, which ends up meaning there's too much room, or too many debuffs on there for me to fit Jack's call on there, which kind of sucks. Another reason why I probably didn't need to bring RCL up, but at least Pyramid already kind of puts a brave damage bonus on them. Pretty close to the point where we want to bring Ramza in. Pyramid again there to prevent that other all attack from debuffing us. Looking back, I probably could have brought Ramza in around the 50% mark, right around now. But I really wanted to kind of give the orb time to count up so that so we could really kind of go ham and push them to 29% without having to worry about something with lightning. I was intended to break him. Sadly, it did not. Just had to do it the old-fashioned way. You can see that Pyramid is still up on A because of their true damage attack that they just did, which means as a result Jack's debuff does not go on them. Doesn't end up making a difference in the end, but kind of kicking myself over that RCL call. Now let's get some room for lightning to go into her burst. First the Cam call, another one of those premium LD calls you can get. At this point we want to just start pushing them back. We're not too concerned with them taking another turn, just a question of pushing them under 29% before the orb goes off. I'm pretty sure I misplayed this burst. I actually only got Lightning's Burst during the Start Dash banner and never bothered learning how to use it properly. I think if you use the LD call closer to the end you can get some of those free turns, but I'm not really sure, and I don't know. If I didn't do this right, it didn't end up costing me to run, but it's a sort of like how-to that I probably should look up somewhere, do some practice with it. Now, time to go into overdrive and really take them down, burst them down with the 2 bursts. Realms of Lightning continue to be a match made in heaven. I think Cloud Realms is also really up there in terms of ridiculous burst pairings, but stacking Lightning and Realms of Burst together, it produces so many ridiculous effects. I mean, yeah, you can see for yourself what's going on. Holding off on the summon because just trying to kind of squeeze as much damage and as much time out as possible before we run up against that turn limit. I guess summoning sooner would have kind of guaranteed a lower turn count, but we're just looking for the W here. Not too often like the Bronze Call results in like 400,000 damage. That feels good. Or not call, EX ability, please. Kind of tripping over my tongue all video. I will say that basically every time I tried to fight these guys without using something like, you know, cheesy, including Gladio, by the way, I found, I ran up against a wall. This is the first team I was able to use that didn't either prevent them from acting or just use Gladio. You'll probably end up seeing Gladio in another video I'm going to be doing. I'm still kind of working on a little mini X-Death saga, and he's been having some trouble. But that was kind of where this team came, as I was like, I want to do something that doesn't use Gladio, but lets the bosses do stuff. And as you can see, it ended up working out pretty decent. That stylish EX finish feels good to use. And you know what? These guys are jerks. We're going to launch them. Here we go. Anyway, it was pretty fun. Got a little touchy and hairy in situations, but Lightning continues to be a blast to use, and Reno is just such a valuable unit to have. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. Consider liking and subscribing if you want to see more content like this, and I'll see you around. Thanks.